Hey y'all. So this is a little off what I normally do. My chair won't move. My chair's stuck. I'm like sitting. Welcome to the wonderful world today. I was actually discussing this story earlier with the amethyst, and I have not really seen anybody talking about it besides News Nation. So the only reason I'm doing this is because I know that we have a lot of people in Florida, So I figured if I could use my channel to help get the word out, then that's what we would do. So I'm going to do a quick countdown and I'll be right back. Hey, y'all. Okay. Hey, Patty. Hey, True Crime, Amethyst, Crimes in Fashion, True Crime Dime. Let me see. Lurker, Revival, Obama, Periwinkle, Cool Gamer, Army Tanker's Wife, Tazzy, Brenda, TLC, Kelval. Okay, so we're going to go over this. I was going to actually walk through all of the pieces of it, and we might still do that. But News Nation did an incredible segment on this. Hey, Matt. Oh, Mind of Monsters. Hello. I just want to get the word out there because this is really tragic. Like, she's been missing for 2 months. Those of you that don't know what we're talking about, sit tight. We're actually going to use News Nation. I'm going to be a review channel today. And I'm actually going to just let them talk because they've laid it out. They've got communication with the sisters. Also, there is an official Facebook group. It is linked in the description. Please be mindful, though, they are not asking for amateur sleuths to come out here and harass the families or anybody else. There are law enforcement agencies involved that are doing their due diligence. They just want the word to get out that she is missing, and she's been missing for 2 months. And she left her car, her dog, her cat, all of it. And there's some really interesting situations with some of this as is. Just some of her associations are a little problematic, and they're kind of concerned. But this is where awareness is key, but letting law enforcement do their jobs. Hey, Cotton Candy Bobs, Boobs, Bobs, Zoya, Brittany, thanks for popping in. Yeah, crimes in fashion, and that's the thing. Of course, it's all about the money. All right, let's get into this.
On News Nation. Each week, we focus on a missing person case from across the country, taking you behind the headlines because every missing person matters. No matter their background, their past, their race, or their circumstances, they are missed by their family, their friends, their community, and oftentimes by complete strangers. It is our mission to bring these cases to light with the hope of finding answers and closure. Maybe you can help solve some of these mysteries as you follow along with our case week to week. This week, we take you to Central Florida. It has been 2 months since the family of Tonya Whipp last heard from her. 2 of her sisters spoke with her on a family call on May 26th. Just a couple of days later, her boyfriend said she disappeared while he was at work. There were no details on where she might have gone. There have been a number of searches in this case, including
They actually held a candlelight vigil last night, too. Unfortunately, I didn't even know about this until today. So otherwise, I would have covered it. Oh, you are close by then. But I didn't know about it. So if they have another, any of the information that comes out, I will try to share it as it comes out for searches, candlelight, anything for awareness. I will try to share it with you guys in the community page because this is really tragic.
The excavation of a yard where Tonya once lived, but still no sign of Tonya. Her family, friends, and the community of Auburndale, Florida are urgently searching and desperately want to know what happened to her.
I miss her terribly, and I just wish that she would just walk through my door.
It's been 2 months since Robin Klotzbier and her family have heard from their younger sister, Tonya Whipp. Robin spoke with Tonya on May 26th, and the last contact she had was June 1st in a Facebook post.
We're just trying to keep it together. It's definitely not like her, and that's what makes it scarier.
Worrisome, stressful. We just want to know.
Over the last several weeks, hundreds of volunteers in the community have joined Tonya's family, searching about a dozen locations near her house and wooded areas nearby.
We believe that she would.
There's actually a couple organizations that have been out helping them with searches and boat searches and things of that nature. So thankfully, they are getting some assistance locally, but I'm not really seeing anybody cover this and get attention out, get her face out at all. So this is what we're doing here, just trying to bring awareness and get her face out there to everybody in Florida or surrounding areas that potentially might know something.
Not be in that area.
They've gone out on foot and used trucks, ATVs, and drones, all looking for any kind of clue as to where Tonya might be.
They found all kinds of articles of clothing and stuff like that. Unfortunately, none of it matched the clothing that we know Tonya was last wearing.
Tonya lives at this home on Caroline Avenue with her boyfriend, Russell Carroll, in Auburndale, Florida. According to Auburndale police, Russell told them when he came home from work one day in late May, Tonya was gone. But Tonya's recently paid off car, her purse, cell phone, and her precious dog baby were all left behind. And Russell never reported her missing. And her family said
he didn't report her missing. Now, I don't know how much they go into his background, but we're going to talk about it a little bit because, yeah, Auburndale, well, he's been released from prison too. And there's some, thankfully, law enforcement, all the agencies are involved, but there's some interesting facts around this case that are just a little eye-opening too.
As he has not joined any of the searches. He told Tonya's family that she wanted some space. Tonya's loved ones say it doesn't add up.
I just don't believe she just walked away. Not from everything. Not her dog, not her car, not her family. I just don't.
At 38 years old, Tonya has never been married. And her
see the bottom of the screen there where it says he's previously arrested for attempted murder? Well, that's truth. Let me tell you, let me give you a little bit more. So he was booked in 2003 for homicide, willful kill, murder, premeditated. That's what the charge was. But that's not what he actually served for, to my understanding. He had just been released recently too. There's a lot of questions around this case that just aren't making sense. We'll get into more of that in a little bit.
family says her relationship with her boyfriend, Russell, is complicated. When they met in 2013, he had already spent time behind bars for the stabbing and attempted murder of his 16-year-old girlfriend 10 years before. Then in 2015, he went back to prison after being caught with narcotics during a traffic stop.
So when he was 16, he got charged with that. Then he got out and went back on drug charges.
Just released several months ago.
He was just released in January.
But he and Tonya had stayed in touch during the years they were apart. Nico Toscani, a retired member of the military and co-founder of the nonprofit group We Are the Essentials, took on Tonya's case about a month ago.
You know, we read a lot of the letters that were in her property between her boyfriend and her. And, you know, they were kind of sort of trying to help each other. Like he would say, you know, please stay clean. I can't wait to see you. I love you so much. And she would write back the same, you know, this is going to be a new start. Don't worry about what happened in your past. You know, this is us now.
Toscani says in the course of his investigation, he's found information suggesting that in recent months, Tonya may have been using methamphetamines. But her family says everyone they talked to has assured them she has stayed clean for the last 5 years.
You know, she did drugs in the past and she got her life back on track. She's been clean almost 5 years now.
But even if she wasn't, let me be honest for a minute. I hate that they say that, because even if she wasn't, she's still a human being. She's still a human being. She still deserves to be found. It doesn't matter if she's currently anything in the past. It doesn't matter. She's still a human being. I just can't with that.
She seemed happy. I mean, she didn't seem like anything wrong.
At this point, police have not named anyone as a person of interest in the case. But just days ago, they reclassified Tonya's case to missing and endangered. They told us in a statement they followed up on numerous leads in attempts to locate Tonya, but all have been unsuccessful. Last week, Auburndale police and the Florida Department of Law Enforcement searched a home and dug out a yard on Rose Street in Auburndale. The homeowner said Tonya had lived there about 10 years ago and had stopped by the house for about 45 minutes on June 6th. But he says he is not involved in her disappearance and doesn't know where she is.
So he claims he last saw her on June 6th.
He was concerned that she might have made a mistake coming back down here, because Tonya was doing so good where she was at. There's nothing in my house at all that involves Tonya. There's nothing illegal in my house right now.
But Tonya did not show up at the house alone on June 6th. She was with a man. Toscani says he and police would like to speak to him.
We are looking for one individual who is last with Tonya. So we're looking to talk to him, and so is the Sheriff's Department and the Auburndale Police Department.
Police say any evidence recovered during the search will be sent to the Florida Department of Law Enforcement Crime Lab. Meanwhile, family and friends grasp for hope, holding a prayer vigil for Tonya this week. They say the hardest part is not knowing what happened to her and worrying she needs their help.
Not knowing if we're going to find her, hoping that if we find her alive, but worried that we're not.
That's one thing she always kept in contact with me, because she knew I worried. So I believe if she was really out there and she could get to a phone, she would have called me.
It's painful. It's a roller coaster ride for them. And we're doing the best to help them get some answers.
Again, this is in Central Florida, Auburndale. If you are in Florida, please, in some way, shape, or form, there's news articles. There's an official Facebook page. They need awareness. Somebody knows something.
What happened to Tonya Whipp? I want to welcome in Nico Toscani now. He is the president of the Essentials Group. This is the group of former law enforcement and military members who work to help find missing people. We are the Essentials. Nico, thank you for being here. Missing and endangered, this case has now been changed from just missing. What more can you tell us about what police are sharing, and do they suspect foul play?
So right now, the police are mostly keeping a lot of stuff close to the vest. Her status was raised from missing to missing and endangered. There's normally three reasons for that. One, the person is a threat to themselves. Two, a threat to the community. Or three.
Yes, there is a billboard. There's flyers. The family has been great. The Facebook page is great. There is absolutely ways you can help getting the word out, getting her face out there, getting the flyers out. They're listed everywhere. I will try to share some on my community tab too when this is over, if anybody wants to share them from there. I have a bunch already ready to go, so I will do that. I think it's coming up. There's a rummage sale coming up that they're doing. There's a $4,000 reward currently for information. They're doing a yard sale on August 5th. This Saturday, they're doing a yard sale to get more donations to help with this too.
The suspected victim of foul play or criminal activity. So
thank you, Mike.
That's where we're at right now.
The family just says Tonya wouldn't do this. She wouldn't leave all of these important things behind. She would stay in touch with her family. I often lean on a family's instinct in these cases. And as they said, it just doesn't add up. I want to talk to you about a couple of the searches, one being this search of the property. What more did police find there? Why did they go there? Have any clues been uncovered in that effort?
Well, I will tell you, we talked to both individuals that lived there, and they say that Tonya was there on June 6th. She arrived with another male friend of hers. Now, one of the people that do live at the house said that Tonya had walked across the street to what she said was score some meth. And allegedly, Tonya came back. And then a short time later, supposedly, Tonya and this male friend left to go drop him off somewhere, and then for Tonya to go home.
Okay, so her
As
family's saying that she's clean. That might not be the case. She might have been wrapped up in drugs again.
Yes, we believe that she did relapse. In talking to different people out on the street,
Yes.
you know, a lot of times families, you know, that's hard for them to accept.
Thank you, Mind of Masters.
But the reality is that the drugs out there on the street these days are tremendously powerful, and it's easy for these folks to relapse.
Yeah, I mean, fentanyl, right? It's one pill can kill. We know the dangers. The sheriff in Polk County has issued a warrant for a man named Richard Oates from Winter Haven. What is his connection to Tonya?
So we spoke to Richard. He was cooperative. He said that earlier in the day of June 6th, Tonya had reached out to him via messenger and asked if they could get together because she needed to talk. She went and picked him up at an address, and they drove to Westbrook Park, which is in the Inwood area. They sat there for a little while. Tonya got spooked because of a blue pickup truck that was alleged to be driving up and down the street. Just so happens that her boyfriend drives the same type of vehicle. So they left from that location, and then they went to that.
That's an important thing too that I've been hearing in a lot of the reports. Yeah, there's some interesting pieces here that are falling into play. I just posted in the community tab pictures and flyers along with the yard sale picture if you want to share. These are also can be found on Google, of course, and then the Facebook page. So if you want to share to get the word out, the community tab has it right now.
That Rose Street address to visit those two people in the trailer.
Okay, so he is the guy police want to talk to then as well. That was the man she was with that day.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, the boyfriend's name is Russell Carroll, and we had a picture of him up on the screen. What is his involvement in the search, if at all, and what has he said to you?
We talked to him a few times. He kind of had his stories got mixed up. You know, first time we talked to him, he said that Tonya had left while he was at work. Second time we spoke to him, he said that Tonya had made a phone call inside of the residence to an ex-boyfriend. She stepped outside, and then Russell believed that the ex-boyfriend had picked her up. And then there was a third story that she had just walked away.
Okay. And the family just says none of this.
Story changing 3 times is a little bit of a red flag.
Seems to puzzle and piece together. You've been involved in the searches. I know there have been ATVs and dogs, lots of members of the community. Where are you searching, and where are clues leading you to look?
You know, unfortunately, in this particular area in Auburndale, there are a lot of wooded areas and lakes, a lot of construction areas, underdeveloped areas. So, you know, it's been rough. And what we're trying to do is now basically converge on certain areas in and around where we know she was last seen.
And talk a little bit, Nico, about your experience with We Are the Essentials. How did you guys start? And when you come into a case, what types of things are you guys looking to do to offer support for the families?
So we actually got inspired to formulate We Are the Essentials while helping out with the Gabby Petito case in the Fund for Brian Laundrie. During that time, we found that there was an incredible large amount of missing persons in and around Central Florida. So every one of us that are on that team, except for the private investigators, retired law enforcement or military. So it kind of gives us a purpose and also to give back to the community and to help these families that maybe cannot afford to hire private investigators.
Yeah. You know what? We don't hear enough about this organization at all. They're doing, this is a new segment News Nation is doing. Every Thursday, they're going to be highlighting a missing persons case. It's actually really interesting. It's about a 30-minute segment. They've done pretty good coverage on it. WFLA has done some pretty good coverage on it. There's really not much at this point, though, as far as like real, like anything like exploding all over, you know, the social media or anything. So that's why I was like, I'm going to share it because it's important. And I know there's so many of you in Florida.
That was also the same reason that we started our missing series, was as a result of Gabby Petito's case and the search for Brian Laundrie. So I appreciate the timing of you all getting involved. I have a couple of viewer questions for you, Nico. This is from Joyce. She's from Lakeland, Florida. She wants to know, does anyone have Tonya's phone, which we do know was left behind, but can police request records to find out, had she shared any texts or had any peculiar phone calls, any digital evidence that they've been able to follow?
So at this time, police are working to obtain those records. We do know, or we suspect, that the phone is with her, wherever she is, but I really can't get into anything more than that.
Okay. Do you know what she was wearing the day she was last seen? Description of her clothes or anything else she had with her?
Yeah, so the boyfriend, Russell, said that he doesn't remember what she was wearing. His brother, who also lived in the residence, does not remember what she was wearing. However, the two individuals in the trailer and this guy, Richard Oates, all said that Tonya was wearing a olive green spaghetti strap tank top with khaki shorts. They did not remember what kind of footwear she was wearing or if she was wearing any jewelry or anything like that. But right now, the two main items are the tank top and the khaki shorts.
Okay. Law enforcement recovered some items, some evidence from the search of that property. Can you be specific as to what they took? Do you know?
We do not know. I know that Jake Rudy, one of the residents at that trailer, has a list. We're not sure if that list is exactly what they took. But everything that, at least it's our understanding, that everything that was obtained.
Yeah, Remy, and the date, the stories have changed, and the date, there's a lot of interesting things going on in this case.
From that residence was sent to the Florida Department of Law Enforcement Criminal Lab.
Okay.
Crime Lab.
So undergoing testing now. The June 1st Facebook post, what did Tonya say in that post?
So on that post, she basically was questioning herself whether she made the right decision. She was saying that she didn't really want to talk to anybody about it, and that when she felt like it, she would let everybody know. Every one of her siblings said that that's not how Tonya text messaged. And we did cross-reference that texting to some other texts that she had sent in the past, and we do have questions about that.
I've got another question from YouTube. Gabby to Gabby is the one asking this question. Why didn't the boyfriend report her missing? Why didn't Russell Carroll alert authorities that she was...
2 months. She's been missing 2 months. So the last time the sisters talked to her was May 26th. The boyfriend says May 28th. Then supposedly there's this Facebook post from June 1st, and then seen at the residence on June 6th.
Nowhere to be found.
And if I'm off on a date, somebody will correct me in the comments, but I'm pretty sure that's exactly the timeline they just said.
Well, that was the number one question for all of us in the very beginning. What Russell had told me, and I don't know if he told law enforcement the same, but what he told me was if I reported her missing, everybody was going to look at me because, you know, what I was involved in the past.
But he's denying he had anything to do with her disappearance.
Correct.
And he is the one that was in prison at 16 for the charges against a girlfriend at the time, which are pretty extensive. The flyers say last seen May 28th. Some of them do. Let me check the other one just a second. She was reported missing on 6/29 is when she was actually reported, but they have it listed between 5/28 and 6/1 is when she was last seen. Oh, that is absolutely, there's just a lot. Yeah.
What's the most challenging thing for you and those who are searching right now, now that 2 months have gone by?
One of the most challenging things is, you know, when there is narcotics involved and there are rough neighborhoods involved, people are afraid to talk. I will say at this time, you know, we have an anonymous donor who put up $1,000, and now Crime Stoppers has put up $3,000. So
the reward, this is what also makes me so angry. The reward of this is only $4,000 at this point in time.
We're hoping that this $4,000 reward will get somebody to come forward and at least help us move this investigation a little further down the road.
This is what you do. You've got a lot of experience in it, but it also is emotional. And as we watched the piece, I felt as though you were emotionally connected to this case. How is looking for Tonya impacting you personally?
Yes, she had a phone, and that's a little confusing to me because they've said that the phone was left behind. The sisters actually stated, hold on just a moment. Let me find. The sister stated when they call, it just goes to, give me one moment. I had it up just one more second. Oh, she said something about like it doesn't go anywhere. Like the phone is powered off or dead. The battery, basically, I think they think it's dead, but he just alluded to they think she has the phone on her. I'm not sure. Law enforcement is involved, and I'm sure trying to get the data off the last pings of the phone, that will be helpful.
Well, it's difficult because you take this roller coaster ride, if you will, with the family. And, you know, they are hoping because of your experience and the experience of your teammates that you can get them answers as to where their loved one is. And it's heartbreaking when you can't. And so, yeah, we have to take that roller coaster ride right along with them. And we do the best we can.
I was on the radio yesterday with WFLA down there, and I was talking to them about how big this case is. It's just ballooned, and there's so much interest, not just in Auburndale, but these surrounding communities. Talk about the impact of her disappearance on this area of Florida and beyond, what you have seen firsthand.
Well, first off, the people of Auburndale have been fantastic. They are a close-knit community, and the surrounding areas of Lakeland, Winter Haven, all of Polk County. I mean, they are a county that sticks together and helps each other out. So that's been fantastic. The impact, you know, it's sad, but the reality is that drugs keep coming into our communities, and because of that happening, these numbers are going up. People are disappearing all the time, and I will tell you, for our organization, probably 90 to 95% of our cases are missing persons that are somehow or another connected with methamphetamine, fentanyl, heroin, or K2 spice.
Yeah. It's a dark and dangerous world, and there is a connection in a lot of it. Nico, I'm getting a bunch of questions from people.
You would think she would have already talked about this, considering it is next door to her. But I haven't seen anybody really talking about it on YouTube at all besides the news media. So I was like, you know what? Let's do it.
So I'm very appreciative that folks are watching and want to be part of this conversation. Katie Lucas on YouTube is asking if the boyfriend, Russell Carroll, has been given a polygraph. Do you know?
He has been given a polygraph. We just don't know what the results are.
Okay. We showed a video just a moment ago of you talking to the search teams. What do you tell people ahead of the searches when they're going out to look?
Well, each team is given a specific area to search, so they're told different things. Some of the teams, they have to go into areas where
I think she's had previous interaction with this organization, and they might not be so fond of her either. So hopefully she does stay away from it, because they're doing, sounds like, an incredible job. Sounds like law enforcement is keeping a lot of stuff close to the vest, but they are still doing searches. They're getting a lot of information. It's about awareness. Somebody's got to know something. Right now, the reward is $4,000. That doesn't really seem like much. I'm hoping that there's a way that that can get increased and more people can see somebody's got to know something. These are not, as they're telling you in the chat, they're not big areas. I was looking at some of the populations and stuff earlier. They're not huge areas.
They're going to be challenged physically with the environment.
Oh, thank you, Glory.
With animals,
well,
if you will, out there. And down here in Florida, the weather can change on a dime. So it can be beautiful out, and within 10, 15 minutes, the worst lightning and thunderstorm that you can imagine. So it's a tough going. The heat index is always over 100 degrees. So we try and make sure everybody stays hydrated, make sure everybody has some form of communication, and make sure that they stick together in groups of 2 and 3 at least.
Yeah, no,
and these are actually retired law enforcement, military. They're actually people who have skills.
It's putting their own lives in danger, at risk, to go out and search for someone that they care about. And oftentimes it's somebody they don't even know. I've got a question from Mike in Pennsylvania, and I appreciate this question because it
drives me nuts too, Amethyst. And then the fact you see these ones that have like $50,000 overnight and they turn out to be hoaxes. And then you have somebody that's actively missing for 2 months and the reward is like again, I have to say this time and time again, as y'all know, my sister basically lives the same really high risk lifestyle, and she's still a human being. At the end of the day, she's still a human being. And there's weeks on end when you don't hear from somebody and you just worry, you think the worst things ever. But these are human beings. No matter if there's high risk behaviors, lifestyles involved whatsoever, we got to stop with that shit and just realize human beings are human beings. They all deserve to be brought home.
Applies to anyone. They want to know how they can help, whether they're in Florida or somewhere else. What would be your message to people who want to help in Tonya's case or another missing case?
The biggest thing is follow the case, stay involved. The way we're going to find Tonya and so many others is by people saying their names, having discussions about it, raising awareness.
That's what we're doing.
And that goes for the drug problem that we have in our communities today. The other day we had a candlelight vigil, and I couldn't help but look around and see all the young children that came out there. We want to make sure that doesn't happen to them. So yeah, it's a multi-pronged, evolution that we are going to have to take a hard look at as a country, and make sure that we try and do the best we can to not only find these people, but address the drug problem that's going on in this country right now.
Yeah, we can't emphasize that enough, how big of a role that plays in all of this. My final question to you, Nico, listening to Tonya's sister, the last soundbite that we heard from her was desperate. She said, Tonya she knows I worry, and because she knows that about me, she would reach out if she could. You can't help but think she's losing hope. How do you talk to family members to stay optimistic, to stay hopeful? And are you in this case, given what you know so far?
Yeah,
Gloria, I'm not sure on that case. This is out of our Auburndale. I can't talk. It's out of Auburndale, Florida, Central Florida. I'm not sure where the missing 12-year-olds, I'm not sure where that was.
We always tell families, try not to lose hope, stay strong in faith. And, there have been times where we thought for sure we were going to locate a person and they were not going to be with us anymore. And we've gotten lucky a couple of times where we did find those persons alive and well. However, cases like this, you have to be more concerned because this is out of character for Tonya. Yeah, she's gone, off before for, overnight stay or maybe lose a phone or something like that. But if I could tell you that this family, how close they are with each other, it's incredible. And there's no way, at least we believe, in our organization, that she just stepped away from her family. We believe something happened to Tonya, and we are going to try and get the family some answers.
Well, please give the family our best, Nico Toscani with We Are the Essentials. Thank you for the work that you are doing. I appreciate you being with us, and we'll be in touch, I hope, with a positive update soon. Thank you again.
Thank you. We appreciate everything you guys do.
Amen. All right. There is a missing person case on a number on your screen. If you have anything you can offer to find Tonya Whipp.
So again, I'm going to end it there. So this is the final screen. We're going to leave this up so people have this information. Again, her name is Tonya Whipp. She is 30. I was going to say 38. And then I was like, hold on, Becky, go verify just to make sure. She is 38. White female, 5'7", 145 pounds. Here's, let me get another picture of her so you guys can see another one. She's got kind of curly hair, about shoulder length hair. I just posted the flyers for her missing person stuff on the community tab. So if you would like to share that, feel free to share that. Please cover this. Awareness is key. And not many people are talking about this. So again, Tonya Whipp, 38 years old. There's a lot of interesting factors in this situation. The timeline's not very secure. The boyfriend's story has changed numerous times. They did search the residence that she was last seen at. They did collect some items. Law enforcement is going through there. She has been missing for over 2 months. 2 months. She left her paid off car, her belongings, and her animals, and her family says that is just not something that she would do. So I just wanted to bring some attention to this one, get some chatter going about it. Even though, again, I'm not true crime, but this is what we can do, right? We can use our pages to do things like this. So if you can, please help other people know that she, among so many others, are out there missing. Anything else you guys want to know before we log off here on this one? Hey, y'all coming in. I am going to end this one and I'm going to be right back. I thought this would take me longer. It didn't. This was concise, to the point, and we're leaving it at that because awareness is key. We're not speculating. We're not doing all that. We can do all that on our own, but law enforcement's going to handle this. They're going to find Tonya. I have faith, but get the word out there. Somebody knows something. There's absolutely somebody knows something. In communities like that, and the sad thing is too, is if there was a drug high risk lifestyle involved, people are afraid to talk. People are absolutely, they don't want to get in trouble. And it's not about that. 9 times out of 10, they just want to bring the person home. So absolutely a mind of monsters. Welcome in all of you guys that are new here too. Thank you for joining me. I appreciate all of you guys. All right, I'm going to end this one. I hope you guys all have a wonderful night. If I don't see you on the back for the next one one's going to be kind of just silly. So you're not going to miss anything anyways. All right. An hour from you. Did you know about it before, Petty Lane? Tazzy. So the boyfriend said initially that she left when he was at work. Then the story changed that she made a phone call, that somebody picked her up. There's his story has changed numerous times. See, that's an hour from you and you didn't even know about it. That's kind of wild. Hey, the real angel. Yeah, there's a little bit of disconnect on the timeline and his stories. Again, he did undergo a polygraph. There's just a lot of missing pieces. There's a warrant out for somebody's arrest, not on this, but they want to talk to him. So there's a lot going on. I encourage you guys to go watch this. WFLA News Nation have done pieces on it. Again, I linked the official Facebook page of this group in the comment section below too. If you want to go join, please don't harass the family. Please do not harass any potential suspects in this. This is for awareness and awareness only. All right, y'all. Talk to you guys in a few.